Kievan Rus, Ancient Greek, Omega Sigma Iota Alpha, Latin, Rusia, Ruzzia, Rutenia, Old Norse, Garðaríki, was a loose federation of East Slavic tribes in Europe from the late 9th to the mid-13th century, under the reign of the Rurik dynasty. The modern peoples of Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia all claim Kievan Rus as their cultural ancestors. At its greatest extent in the mid-11th century, it stretched from the Baltic Sea in the north to the Black Sea in the south, and from the headwaters of the Vistula in the west to the Taman Peninsula in the east, uniting the majority of East Slavic tribes. Kievan Rus begins with the rule of Prince Oleg, who extended his control from Novgorod south along the Dnieper river valley in order to protect trade from Khazar incursions from the east, and moved his capital to the more strategic Kiev. Sviatoslav I achieved the first major expansion of Kievan Rus' territorial control, fighting a war of conquest against the Khazar Empire. Vladimir the Great introduced Christianity with his own baptism and by decree, that of all the inhabitants of Kiev and beyond. Kievan Rus reached its greatest extent under Yaroslav the Wise. His sons assembled and issued its first written legal code, the Rus Justice. Shortly after his death, the state declined beginning in the late 11th century and during the 12th century, disintegrating into various rival regional powers. It was further weakened by economic factors such as the collapse of Rus' commercial ties to Byzantium due to the decline of Constantinople and the accompanying diminution of trade routes through its territory. The state finally fell to the Mongol invasion of the 1240s. Name. During its existence, Kievan Rus was known as the Land of the Rus, in Greek as Omega Sigma Iota Alpha, in Old French as Russia, in Latin as Russia, and from the 12th century also Rutenia. Various etymologies have been proposed, including Ruotsi, the Finnish designation for Sweden, and Rus, a tribe from the Middle Dnieper Valley region. The term Kievan Rus was coined in the 19th century in Russian historiography to refer to the period when the center was in Kiev. In English, the term was introduced in the early 20th century, when it was found in the 1913 English translation of Vasily Klyachevsky's A History of Russia, to distinguish the early polity from successor states, which were also named Rus. Later, the Russian term was rendered into Belarusian and Ukrainian as Kiev sьскаɁ and Kiev sьскаɁ, respectively.